There are a lot of mistakes I'm seeing people make when they're trying to relocate to Florida, and I decided to do a video today so we can talk about some of those mistakes, and hopefully I can save you from making them yourself. All right, let's get to it. Hey everybody, I'm Emily. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Florida, and I live in the Tampa St. Pete area. And this channel is dedicated to all things living, working, playing, sleeping, eating, and especially the real estate market in hot Florida. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That really helps me out a lot. But it also lets you know when I'm dropping new videos weekly. And don't forget, you can always leave me a comment below. I will get to them, I promise. It might just take me a little bit, but I really love reading them. And as always, if you have any real estate related questions or needs, please click my links below. You can get on my calendar and we can have that 30-minute consultation and I can help you with your plan. But I can't help you if you don't reach out to me. So go ahead and click that below. You can also send me any questions or inquiries through my email as well. So all that's below. And today I really wanted to cover a couple of the mistakes that I'm seeing people make just naturally. It's just hard when you're trying to relocate. It's no fault of yours. It's just what happens, right? So I wanted to do a video today where I could help alleviate some of these pain points and hopefully make some questions a little bit more clear. I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of you YouTube guys. It's been really fun. Thank you for reaching out and choosing me as your agent. Makes me so happy. It's really a joy in my life to help people. And so I think there are a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misunderstandings with some of the things going on in our state. And rightfully so, you're coming from a different state where you do things a little differently. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. I wanted to start off with something just kind of funny. I think people have the misunderstanding that there are alligators roaming free everywhere, and they are not. I think I've maybe seen a handful of gators in the 4 years I've been back, and I can't even remember seeing one as a child. I take that back. My dad had one in his pond behind his house, but he wasn't bothering anybody. They don't charge you. They're not like, cougars or anything like that. They're not going to come after you. You do not want to get close to them. You do not want to have small children or dogs anywhere near them. And if you see one somewhere that it shouldn't be, you can call the wildlife rescue and they'll just come grab it and take it to where it needs to go. So don't worry about the gators. I promise they won't eat you. Another mistake I'm seeing people make is thinking that Realtor.com and Zillow's data is actually accurate. Sorry. You're going to get skewed numbers. There's going to be inflated numbers, especially on Zillow. If you're looking at your Zillow estimate, it's always higher than what you're going to find on the MLS. The MLS is governed by our state, and we have to have certain data legally in there that's accurate. It all has to be accurate. And it is updated every 15 minutes. So you're getting the most up-to-date information. Because I have people tell me, oh, but I saw it on Realtor.com and it says it was available. Yeah, well, that's not accurate. MLS is always accurate. And all that information has to be accurate, or that listing agent gets in trouble. So when you're working with a professional like myself, you want to make sure that they set you up on an MLS search so that with your criteria in the areas of interest, and then you'll start getting them in your email. And that's really the way to watch the market. Most of us now have apps that are connected to the MLS, and you can watch the market that way if you want as well and kind of get an idea of areas. But working with a professional is really going to be the best way to go. We know the market. We know what's going on. We talk to each other. So a real estate agent is really your advocate, and you're going to want to work with a professional, a licensed real estate agent, licensed in the state of Florida with a reputable broker. And even when you're looking at lenders, you're going to make sure that that lender is licensed in the state of Florida if you're coming to Florida, or if any other state that you're looking at. Sometimes the banks don't give you the best rates. Keep that in mind, as well as sometimes you'll have added fees, and also sometimes they can delay our closing. So the best thing to do is to talk to your agent. They usually have a preferred lender. I have my own preferred lender that I use but I also have a laundry list of other lenders that I know are great. And it's up to you to choose the lender that works best with you. I highly recommend seeing one sooner than later. And we're going to talk about that. I wanted to bring up too these Facebook scams with people posting houses for sale or any sort of property on Facebook. There have been a lot of people getting swindled this way. Don't forget, Facebook is not held to any sort of standard of anything. Think of it like a bulletin board. So if you really want to know what's going on with a property, you're going to have to go off of the MLS. If you want to know if a property is real, you're going to have to go off of the MLS. That's just the way it works. Facebook, I just don't think you should trust Facebook with much of anything. Sorry, Facebook. Another thing I'm noticing is people are choosing areas based on price, not the area. And I think that's a big mistake. Sometimes, especially in our market, this is what's confusing for people. We don't have just like, oh, this is the area that these houses are at this price, and this area these houses are at this price. It's a mixed bag. So it's really important that you find the areas that you like and you hone in on those. And that's where your agent can help you as well and help you kind of create a little map when you come to town of the areas that you like, maybe based off, this is what I do, based off of the houses that you liked on the MLS. Then we kind of create a map for you when you come to town so you can go drive those neighborhoods and start to see the look and feel and walk around and go to the local shops and the restaurants there and see if you like it. It's really the only way you're gonna know. Back to lenders. You're gonna wanna use a lender that understands the market, licensed in the state, like I mentioned, but also you wanna ask them how they structure their loan. You wanna ask them if they've got any special programs that you might be eligible for. First-time buyers sometimes have programs for first-time buyers. If you're a nurse or a firefighter, they have programs for that. If you're a teacher, so you want to make sure that you talk to several lenders before you get to closing day. We need one lender to help you with that qualification letter. That's another mistake I'm seeing people make, is they're not coming to the table with a pre-approval or pre-qualification letter before we see homes. I don't go take anybody on a home tour unless they have that pre-approval letter in my inbox first. That lets me know that you are a solid buyer, but it also lets the listing agent know that you're a solid buyer. A lot of times now, they're not letting us even show you a house unless we provide a pre-approval letter. It just has to weed out the riffraff of the people. It's a hot market. People love going to see property, but we can't waste each other's time. Everything is very timely right now. So they want to only work with serious buyers. Getting that pre-approval letter is not that hard. You talk to a lender. I can give you my preferred lenders. I've got that. Or if you're working with an agent, ask them for their preferred lenders list. And then you speak to them and see who you kind of vibe with. Talk to them about their programs. Talk to them about rates. Talk to them about your credit. Ask them if they're going to do a soft pull or a hard pull of your credit. Ask them if you need to repair your credit. How's that going to affect you? How's that going to affect your payments? What's going to happen? When it comes to the financial part of a real estate transaction, it's always best to ask the lender how that process is going to flow. That way you understand from when we go under contract until our closing day what's expected of you. But as your agent, we help you along the way too. We're always here once we get the deal rolling. Don't worry about that. A reputable brokerage, as well as someone who's licensed in the state, because they're going to know all the laws and all the ins and outs. Not to mention, we're in boots on the ground here. We are in the trenches. We know what's going on. We've been knocked around. We know why we've won things and why we've lost deals. So you want an agent that understands how to put that strategy together with you. But you need to understand this is not a market of negotiation. This is a market of getting the house that you love at the best price for you. And sometimes, most of the time, that's list or over. I've seen homes go over list by $100,000. Yes, I said $100,000. So in this market, you're gonna need some cash. Doesn't mean we can't work with you if you don't have a ton of cash, but you're gonna have to have some skin in the game. So if you're looking to buy and you don't have that yet, take your time. Really get your cash in order so that you have something. You need to put some skin in the game, and that's also gonna help your payment be lower as well. There are also contingencies that we have to think about, and we have to strategize with that. But also there is an appraisal gap contingency that's starting to come. The agents are using a lot right now in order to win deals, and that's something you want to discuss with your agent as well. So there's, again, those strategies are very important to speak to your agent about so that you can put forward your best offer based on what you can do and stand by it. And then it's the agent's job to pick up that phone, be aggressive. Don't just submit an offer and let it sit. You've got to talk to the agent. I make a point of talking to the listing agent before we even put a deal in. I'm having conversations, I'm asking questions, I'm becoming their friend, I'm becoming their buddy, because if we go under contract together, we're gonna have to work together for 30 days. And I've worked with some amazing agents and I've worked with some really crappy agents. And it has everything to do with our relationship together. And you want an agent that's got those good relationships, because that's sometimes how we're gonna find you property. Keep that in mind too. So again, hiring a really good agent that you have a good rapport with, that you know has your back and is loyal to you, be loyal to them. I'm seeing this a lot as well. People are kind of jumping around agents and kind of moving them around the chessboard, and that's really not fair. Buyers agents do not get paid until we get to the closing table, and then the seller pays our commission. So you have to remember, we're working for free for you until we get to that closing table, and you don't even pay our commissions. So please have a little bit of kindness in your heart to how hard we work. And if I'm taking time out to show you showings, or your agents taking you out to see some property, keep that in mind. And also when it comes to commissions, a lot of times you're going to be asked to sign a buyer broker agreement. Especially in Florida, that's happening a lot because agents are stealing other clients. It's happening. And in order to make sure that there is loyalty between us both, I ask my clients to sign a buyer broker agreement before I ever put in that first offer. And that states very clearly what my commission rate, my minimum is. And then there is always a little fee. That fee, other agents need to tell you what their fee is. I'll tell you right now what my fee is. It's my transaction coordinator and my auditor, which are two very important pieces of the puzzle and vital to my team. My transaction coordinator is going to make sure all of our documents are exactly what title needs in order to get us to clear to close. She's going to keep everybody on a timeline. She's cracking that whip. She's making things happen. She's also going to be your point of contact when you need something. Not to mention that auditor, when everybody starts getting down to the wire and we're about 5 days out from closing, she's going to scan all those closing docs to make sure that you're not overpaying for anything when we get to the closing table. She is vital to the team. So keep that in mind. Those fees are just for those two vendors. I don't get paid for. I don't take any money from them. That's me bringing them into the deal. They get paid separately from my commission, and that's the only out-of-pocket costs you're going to have when you work with me. And a lot of other agents right now, they're charging what's called an MLS fee. You need to ask them what that is. So again, keeping in mind that time to market is really vital right now. Things are flying off the MLS, and you've really got to be prepared with a qualified agent, with a lender that's got you pre-approved. Before you get to the closing table, a good 30 days out, you should be shopping rates. We can talk to other lenders, see if they've got better programs, but once we get closer to actually going under contract, you're going to need to make sure you lock in a rate, and you're going to have to focus in on one lender at that time, okay? And your agent can help you with that. So again, don't forget, things are not going for under list, they're going over. Make sure you understand the strategy that your agent's going to put in place with you, and also understand things are flying off the market, so you've got to move quickly. If you need a virtual tour, ask your agent to do that for you as well. That's something else I wanted to bring up. People are making the mistake of seeing properties sight unseen, and that just muddies the water in this market. I'm going to tell you, I've had to do this with a couple of clients. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes what happens is we do a virtual tour where I FaceTime you and you see the property through the lens of my camera, and I'm looking for any problems. I've done that before where I've told a client, nope, there's too many big problems here. I know their budget, I know their situation. I'm not going to put them in a situation where they might have to put out another $20K in repairs. So making sure that you see the floor, the cracks in the ceiling, I'm looking at everything, but you need to come see the house yourself. A lot of times what happens is people are coming during that inspection period. That works sometimes, but the more you can get here and physically be at these showings, the better for you in the long run, because what might appear to be beautiful on an MLS with some tweaking of lighting and retouching doesn't necessarily look so great to the naked eye. So keep that in mind. Another mistake is people are so certain they want to buy. Maybe renting is the way to go. Let's talk about that for a second. Now, first, if you're thinking of renting, that might be the best course of action for you because you got relocated here because of a job. You're not so sure how long the job's going to last or if you're even going to like it. Why would you buy a house here? That doesn't make sense. Renting is probably the best option for you. And then that gives you time to explore some neighborhoods that you might not have considered when you lived out of state. And then that can be a great option for you. Keep in mind, our rent prices are sky high. So that's also a con, when it comes to that. But in the long run, it'll save you money versus having to, skip out of town if you don't like your job. But if you are thinking of buying, it is a great time to buy. Interest rates are still, I say that very loudly, still historically low. You guys, 4% on interest rate is so low compared to what people were paying 10, 15 years ago. And it could go that high again. So lock it in now. And again, you're going to want to work with professionals like myself to help you understand the areas, help you navigate certain neighborhoods, restrictions, and that sort of thing. Don't forget to, if you're looking at an investment property, I'm having this with some of my clients as well, it's very confusing right now, the zoning. They are redoing the zoning in a lot of our counties based on the fact that there are people coming here in droves and they're trying to figure it out. Also, some of the neighborhoods and the HOAs aren't liking having all of this Airbnb activity all the time. So that's something you can work with your agent with. You're going to have to go to the county or the state websites. Most of the counties have a lot of the zoning maps there for you, but some are shifting and changing. There are areas, of course, all the beach communities are going through some sort of shift. You can be in one part of St. Pete Beach and go a little bit north. You could have weekly rentals in St. Pete, but then you can only do monthly rentals up in Indian Rocks. So, and I'm not saying that's everywhere in Indian Rocks, but there are some, I've run into that with some people. Some areas they let you rent weekly, some they only let you rent monthly. That's something you need to understand as well as you're looking for this to be an investment property for you. Another mistake I'm seeing people make is they're bringing all their stuff to Florida thinking, oh, we're just going to put it in the basement. We don't have basements. Nope. We are below sea level. So you're going to have an attic. And an attic in Florida is a hot box, and it is dirty and it's musty, and a lot of times it's got mildew, probably not real mildew, but you know what I'm saying, it's musty. So you have to be careful. If you've got some precious heirlooms, Christmas ornaments, that sort of thing, you've got to make sure that they're wrapped and sealed pretty well and that they can handle the heat, because your attic is going to be like 50 degrees hotter than your house. So keep that in mind. We don't have basements. Sell your stuff. Get some new stuff when you get to Florida. Your decor is going to be different when you get here anyway. I lived in Texas where everything was a Texas Star or the Longhorns and all that kind of stuff, or the blue bonnets of Texas. My aesthetic completely changed when I moved to Florida. Bright colors, lots of wicker. It's beach life. It's fun to redecorate your house, so get rid of your stuff. Also, I'm hearing that up north, I didn't know this, a colleague told me this, that you guys, when you sell your houses up north, that you take your appliances with you. You do not have to bring your appliances to Florida. Sell them with the house. We sell them with the houses here. Very rarely are you gonna have to buy or bring down a refrigerator or a washer dryer. You're never probably, unless it's new construction and you're gonna have to buy new appliances, are you gonna ever have to put a stove in there or a dishwasher? Those are kind of standard-ish, I can say. So sometimes they might have an additional refrigerator in the garage. That sometimes doesn't convey. And sometimes it'll say the washer and dryer don't convey, which means it does not come with the house. But we can write that into the contract that we would like it to, and we can add a little, amount to that to sweeten the deal. So don't bring your appliances, you're not gonna need them. Another mistake I'm noticing with some people, and I ran into this with some of my clients as well, is understanding that some of these homes that may look like they're a great deal, and then you get inside them, and you're gonna go, oh, it just needs a little work. No. What's the age of the roof? What's the age of the HVAC? What's the age of the water heater? Let's look for those cracks. You can see them. In Florida, our properties settle a little bit. That's normal, but any significant cracks are going to cost you a ton of money. And you're normally going to have what's called a foundation engineer come out, and they are not cheap, to see what you need to do structurally. Keep in mind our roofs here. I've been hearing up north you can get away with a 20-year old roof. Not in Florida. Don't forget we have hurricanes. And the insurance companies are really cracking down on not insuring homes that have a roof that's older than 10 years old. And it has to pass a wind mitigation and 4-point inspection in order to get insured. So you might go, oh, but the roof looks okay. No, if it's older than 10 years, I always tell people that you're gonna have to replace it. Or you might not be able to get insured. I did run into that with a client, and so it can cause a lot of problems ahead of time. So don't be fooled by, remember, it's not one for one. Roofs up north, very different than roofs down here. HVACs are very different down here than they are up north. You guys don't run them like we run them. You guys are running your heat a lot of maybe 6 months out of the year. We're running our AC 11 months out of the 12. Every now and then, even in right now, it's hot in my house and I have it at 72. So we're in March. I've been doing that since January. We'll have we'll have a cold night here and there where I have to turn the heat on. Or a lot of times we open the windows and we can get a breeze right now. But most of the time, so you're going to have to use AC. So you're going to have to get that AC service frequently. Usually I tell people once a year, but make sure that HVAC isn't too old, okay? Those are big ticket items you got to put on your list to keep an eye out for, okay? And also, people are making the mistake of putting on their must-have list a pool. Listen, I know it's Florida and you've been dreaming of a pool. You can put one in later. Find an area that you like. Find the neighborhood within that area you like. Find homes that you like that are actually available. If they have a pool, great. If they don't have a pool, put it in later. Honestly, I know everybody's got this list of must-haves, but in this market, you're really going to have to narrow that must-have list down a bit because you're not going to get everything you want. I'm sorry. I wish I could be Santa Claus and give you everything you want, but I can't. One day, hopefully, more properties are going to come available with everybody's dreams in it. But until then, you're going to have to maybe put off that pool and jacuzzi. I'm sorry, just the way it works sometimes. If you're lucky, you'll get a pool. I'll stay positive about that for you. And the last mistake I can probably talk about on this video is that I'm seeing people, when you're doing new construction, which I'm going to do a new construction video because that needs its own video. There's a lot to think about with that. But when you're not living here and you have put a significant amount of money down on a house and you're hearing all of these things about delays and construction delays and labor problems, labor shortages and XYZ, you're going to want to make sure that things are moving smoothly and you're going to want to monitor it all the time. And it's really hard. Sometimes you just have to kind of let it go. I tell my clients every couple of months, let's go down and visit her. Every couple of months, I'll go down and I'll do a video for you and I'll let you know what's going on. Or every now and then, let's talk to the construction manager and let's see what's going on. And usually they're really good about doing their updates with you anyway. But if you want somebody that has boots on the ground that can go visit the site for you, that's what your agent should be doing for you. They should be going and checking on that site for you and doing a video for you and showing you, yeah, they laid the foundation today. Yes, they told you that the walls were going up on this date. They're up. They're on schedule. So that's, again, where your agent can really help you. Make sure you still use an agent when you're doing a new construction because there are a lot of things that can go wrong and that agent can help you make sure those things do not happen. Guarantee. We'll talk about that on another video. I think that about does it. There's a lot of mistakes I think people are making, but I'm hoping in this video I can eliminate some of that for you. And again, everybody, I appreciate you watching my content. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That really helps me. And again, if you like this video, click that like. That helps as well. Comments below if you have any questions or if you have anything to add. I'd love to hear it. And again, I'll reply to you as I can. And as always, I would really love to help you on your real estate journey, but I can't help you if you don't reach out. Click my links below. Let's start a conversation and let me have your back when you're trying to relocate to Tampa. And until next time, everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.